back into love. Take one.
Oh, God. I'm getting really nervous.
You'll be fine. You just use your normal, nice voice that I've heard so much of in the last 3 days.
It's like, my throat's closing up. It's like anaphylactic.
It's fine. It's just a 3-minute song. Just a little bit louder, because this song is intended for humans, okay? Way back into love. Take 2.
Hello, and welcome to the... You're doing that on purpose, right? Hello, and welcome to the Bench Movie Club. I'm Ben.
He's Ben.
And he's Knobhead.
I'm Charlie.
And today we're talking about the 2007 movie Music and Lyrics, starring Hugh Grant and Drew Barrymore.
And... I'll do that. Just tell... What's the film about, Ben? I'll tell you who's in it. Right. So it was written and directed by Mark Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
Who also wrote and directed 2 Weeks Notice.
That's Sandra Bullock in it.
And Hugh Grant.
Right, okay.
And he also wrote Forces of Nature, Miss Congeniality, Did You Hear About the Morgans? So all them films, he was either Sandra Bullock.
I think I've only seen Miss Congeniality out of them.
You haven't seen 2 Weeks Notice?
No.
I thought that...
It was 2 Weeks Notice. Who's in that?
Sandra Bullock and Hugh Grant. It's around about the same time as this. It's very similar kind of humour.
Oh, okay.
I would have thought you would have...
Yeah, I would have thought I would have seen it, but yeah, I can't think of that one.
Oh, okay. And it stars Hugh Grant, who's in Night Train to Venice and Privileged. Drew Barrymore, who's in Inside the Gold Mine and Freddie Got Fingered.
What? But that's what? Well, them 2 films I've never even heard of. She's in loads of stuff.
No, I looked up the shittest films that either of them had been in. That's what it was. It's also got Hayley Bennett. She plays Cora, the singer.
Right.
She's in Swallow and The Devil All the Time.
She's supposed to be in a mix between Christina Aguilera and Britney, isn't she?
Yeah, you can sort of tell.
Mm.
I went and see Britney in concert with Lily. That was Lily's first concert at the O2. And watching the film, I thought, yeah, I can see it's very similar to sort of Britney writhing about on stage. You got that Kristen Johnson, who's been Further Up from the Sun.
The sister.
Yeah,
I love her.
She's
brilliant.
tall
yeah.
lady, 6 foot. She's 6 foot.
She's 6 foot.
Mm. But she's not as tall as Brad Garrett, his agent, who's in Everybody Loves Raymond, Tangled. He's 6'9". Yeah, because Hugh Grant looks tiny.
He does. He's about my height too.
He's 5'11".
He's 5'11". Yeah.
And yet you see that bloke's huge. His don't really interest you that much, but I'm a big fan of Electric Light Orchestra.
Oh, ELO, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I like ELO.
Do you remember that album I gave as a present? On the back, it's got like this big like guy with a sitar pulling this. That's him, but it's one of the first ever things he done. So he's almost unrecognisable. Like when we was watching the film, me and Mum went,
okay.
You know. And I got the LP and I showed her the back. I went, that's him. Oh. Even looking at him, she's like, he looks so young there. He looked completely different when he was young. You've also got Campbell Scott, who's the bloke, the author, who she's sort of obsessed with.
Yeah.
He's in Exorcism of Emily Rose and Amazing Spider-Man.
Right.
Exorcism of Emily Rose is really good.
I think I've seen that. I think it's quite scary, that one. Is it in like a hut? Is it like they're like in a farm?
No.
Cabin?
No. Keep going.
Oh, I don't know.
No, Exorcism of Emily Rose really.
I've seen
it. It's
got
Tom Wilkinson in it. No, from True.
Yeah, I've got a feeling I've seen it.
It's about this girl has died.
Does she go in the barn?
Oh yes, she does go in the barn.
I've seen it. Yeah, I can't really remember it.
That's Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Alright, no. I will watch it again. I remember it's quite good from what I remember.
Oh, yeah, I really like that. I definitely want to do that podcast on that one day. So why did you pick this film?
I picked this film because it's not really... It's not like the typical rom-com that a lot of people will know about. I think it was successful enough, but it's not like the Notting Hill... 4 Weddings type of sort of...
No, it's more the bracket of those American sort of romantic comedies.
The ones you just mentioned.
Like 2 Weeks Notice.
There's loads of them, like loads with Jennifer Aniston in and things like that, and Cameron Diaz, and there's lots of and Sandra Bullock and all that.
Ben Stiller and Adam Sandler.
A load of that. Like sort of Wedding Singer and this kind of stuff. Although Wedding Singer was more known than this.
And those romantic comedies, they almost always, I mean, this hasn't, but they almost always have the same sort of front cover theme where it's a white background, it's got both of them going, all goofy.
Yeah.
That's why we wore white t-shirts today.
Yeah, well, I didn't plan on wearing a white t-shirt, but I just realised we both are. But I like this film. When I see it in the pictures years ago when I lived in Barking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went and watched it with Joanne. Me and Joanne went to see it in the pictures.
Oh, nice.
And I remember watching it going, oh, it's okay. I thought it was right in the pictures. When I've watched it back after that, I've loved it. I thought it was just a really lovely film. It's really funny. It's got a really good storyline. It's like, you know what's going to happen. It's got funny characters. Like, I love the sister. I think the sister's fantastic. She just makes me laugh, you know, the way that she pushes her way to the front.
Yeah.
I just think like...
Or when Drew Barrymore says, oh, I met that Alex so-and-so, she's going, what?
Yeah.
And he's playing tonight, she's going, oh, we're going out!
yeah.
Stuff.
She's funny, I like her. And I like that when you've got the added, like comedic person, like, as an extra
But
person.
they're not an annoying person.
No.
Sometimes they do that sort of friend who's supposed to be like the extra comic relief, the buffoon. Yeah. And it's like so over the top.
It's overly done. Up. But I like the characters. The characters are likeable and it's believable, and I just like this is like what I love about this is the films I love with Drew Barrymore, like The Wedding Singer, 50 First Dates, Never Been Kissed. These are like when she plays that kind of sweet, like innocent-y kind of girl. I like these. I like her in these roles. I think she's really likable as these kind of characters.
So what's the film about?
The film is about a sort of has-been pop star, like sort of Wham. In it, or Spandau Ballet sort of type.
Yeah, it's like
Duran, one of them.
It's supposed to be a mix between Duran and Wham.
Yeah,
because it's got the two of them, and obviously the other one who you don't see is supposed to be like the George Michael one that's gone off.
Who's made
success.
it big?
Yeah,
and it's like he's like has been, and it's like years later, like he's trying to rebuild his career. And there's this really big pop star called what's her name? The girl Cara. She loves his music from years ago, and she wants him to write a song for her. And she's like this massive, big, like Britney, Christian Aguilera type. Anyway, it all falls into place that she is woman watering his plants is Drew Barrymore, and she just starts coming out with lyrics at some point. Anyway, they start writing this song together, and like, as in with all these rom-coms, they sort of slowly start falling in love with each other. And there's lots of funny twists and turns on the way. And I also like, spoiler alert as well if you haven't seen this, I like the ending part where it looks like he's stabbed her in the back.
Yes.
And it's like they're sitting there and he's going, oh, this is song written by Alex Reid. Is it Alex Reid, his name? What's his name in it?
Alex, the kid.
Well, whoever his name is, it's like, ain't that? Whoever it is, whoever his name is, and he goes, and it looks like he's cut her off the lyrics. The sister, and she goes, I'm just going to walk out, and then he figures out it's a song he's written about her, and I think that's just lovely. And like the little funny bits about like watering my killing my plants and stuff like this, and it's just a nice happy film.
That, funny enough, that reminded me a little bit like the end of Wedding Singer, because obviously when he comes out and sings a song that's personal between just them two.
Yeah, very similar to that, like their love story and Wedding Singer. Yeah, but I love it. It's just a nice, happy. You know, it's innocent. It's just a feel good. It just makes you smile, and that's what I like about this film. And I like films like this that sometimes you just want to watch something nice, and it's a nice, easy comedy, and it's just like, oh no, it's nice. That's it. It was just a nice comedy that I've enjoyed watching. I've watched it a few times and I've loved it, and I just found it funny, you know, and I've watched it with people before and we both enjoyed it, you know, at the times, and it's just been, it's just a nice film that I think a lot of people might not know about. It's big enough that, I mean, a lot of people will know it, but it's not, a lot of people might go, they won't know it as I said, as well as like the ones I mentioned, like Pretty Woman, Notting Hill, Dirty Dancing. They're not going to know it as well as them, but it's in that other genre, which, you know, unless you're sort of, maybe it might be on telly one time and you catch it, that you might not know about it. And that's why I think it's just a nice film to introduce to this. And that's why you hadn't seen it before, had you? No. So from like fresh eyes then, what did you make of the film?
I enjoyed it. Because obviously we'd done Miss Congeniality before, which I thought, and I remember saying about that, saying, I know it's a comedy, and I think the whole thing is being carried by Sandra Bullock. Now, I felt this was also being carried but by Hugh Grant and Drew Barrymore. I thought they were both great.
Yeah.
They're both very likeable in it.
Yeah.
They're not horrible people, which sort of keeps you on board with it a bit.
Yeah.
With Miss Congeniality, it got my nerves a little bit, some of the attitudes, and it had some of the usual steps. Now, this doesn't always have the usual steps. It's not like, because there's a bit when he says, you're exactly like how she is in the book.
Yeah.
Because her ex, or like a bloke she had an affair with, wrote a book about her. And
a bad book, like a sort of like damning book about her.
But basically, it's I think the point of that is it's like when someone shines a mirror on someone and they don't like it. It shows out all the bad things. So I don't think it's necessarily lies what he's put in the book, but it's the slant he's put. It's basically like a tabloid, just focusing on the bad things.
It's like when you edit like a TV show, like a reality show, and they go like they make someone look bad, but it's like things they've said, but it's concise and it's out of context. It can look really bad. Do you know what I mean? So he's gone. He wants it to be this type of book, so he's written her in this way with things that she might have said and done, but like in a way that it's like, as I say, like what they do in like reality shows.
Yeah, and as I said, I like it that you expect certain tropes and certain beats, and which came along in Miss Congeniality. In this, I didn't think as much. In this, I felt it never got too traumatic.
No,
never got to a bit when it was like running to the airport.
Yeah,
don't go, something like that. Because
I do like them bits. Like in Notting Hill, I like all that with the running bit and
so
it's quite nice.
I prefer this over Notting Hill.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I didn't mind Notting Hill. I liked Notting Hill enough, but I don't think I'd ever watch Notting Hill again.
Oh, okay.
There's a chance I'd watch this again.
Oh, okay.
I would watch this again, but I wouldn't watch it as in like, you know what's. Let's everyone get down. Shut up. We're going to watch this film. You got to, it'd be one of those things like on a Sunday afternoon. You think, let's have something
nice and happy and easy,
non-threatening, humorous, and I think what also helps, as well as Hugh Grant and Drew Barrymore, is his agent and her sister, because they're both likeable people as well. Because again, it didn't have any villains. No. Even her ex, he's an arse. Yeah. And Hugh Grant has that stupid pushing match with him. The bloke's an arse, but at the same time, I like that they didn't sort of resolve to having, no, this one's evil and this one's like doing her over kind of thing. And their reactions to each other and sort of like, well, okay, well, look, we're just going to be friends then or whatever. And you think it's more realistic because, the world doesn't always end with someone going, he stole all the money from you or he stole all the credits from you.
One more thing I remember with this film, and it's really mad, it's like, was it the Mandela effect? There was a trailer when this film come out, because there was a clip in it, and it's at the fairground ride, the fairground place where she goes and she watches him sing and all that. And there was a bit of her walking along eating candy floss, and she looks really funny when she's doing it. It's just like she's putting a really sort of like funny face, and she's just sitting there eating candy floss, looking all. I can't remember, but I looked at every single trailer. I could not see that. Yeah. Could not find it. I've looked at American trailers. I've looked at English trailers. And I remember thinking, that's a really funny scene. I remember at the time watching it going, oh, that looks really funny. That scene, she just looked really funny in that scene. And I'm sure she's eating candy floss, or she's eating something in the fair, walking past somewhere. I think it's just the way she's doing it. And it was just cut out the film. But it's also, I thought, let me look and find that bit in the trailer. Can't find it. And I have never been able to find it. And I've looked at so many different trailers for this. It's not there. It's like, you don't imagine it. It's this film. No, it's this film. Because it's that part in the fair, and she's walking like eating candy. So it makes sense. She's eating candy floss, and the way she's doing it. I remember there was something really funny about that little clip of her eating the candy floss. It's like, I don't know, it's the face that she's pulling or something. But I remember just thought that alone was just funny, and I haven't been able to find it since, which is really mad.
Have you thought about literally just putting like in YouTube, say Drew Barrymore candy floss?
No.
Maybe try that, because it might show a clip of that or the clip that's related to that.
It's just really mad. It's really mental that I remember that so vividly. And we're talking, I've lived here, we're talking 20 years ago. 20 years ago this would have been, about 20 years.
Oh, it's 2007, the film, so it's...
not 20,
18
years ago.
Yeah.
So this would have been, because I've lived here 15 years, this is when I lived in Barking, so this would have been, probably around about the time it came out, so about 18 years ago.
So I think this film actually came out February 2007.
Yeah.
So it's 2 months before.
And it's stuck in my brain.
2 months before Lily was born, this film came out.
The same with 9.5 weeks. Or was it really 2 months before Lily? Oh, bloody hell. And also, yeah, it's also 9.5 weeks. I remember there's a trailer with 9.5 weeks, and there's extra scenes in that trailer that are not in the film.
That happens loads of times. That happens almost, and it almost happens in every single trailer. You think
it really
of
winds
films,
me out.
Look at films that you know. It's an interesting rabbit hole to go down. You think of films that you know inside out. Look at their original trailer, because guarantee you watch the original trailer and go, I don't remember that.
Well, Breakfast Club, there's a bit, she says, I don't want to be alone anymore. And he says, you don't have to be. That's the jock and the basket case. I remember the wording in the trailer, but it's not in the film, because I know that film inside out. So it's mad, isn't it, how they cut things out of trailers. But yeah, no, I really like this film. And I'm glad you liked it. Did you watch it on your own, or did you watch it?
No, I watched it with Mum.
Did she like it?
Yeah, she liked it.
Did you like the beginning, like the way that they done the cheesy band?
I liked
That's like
it.
a proper 80s music video. Gone.
Funny you mention it, because I like that. I thought, I knew nothing about the film, and I liked how it opened up, showing the entire song and its old 80s video film.
Proper 80s
and I thought,
video.
That's good. And I thought, why, Mum? I looked at Mum, and she's on the phone. But she weren't obliged to watch the film.
No.
And then she's looked up at something, and then she started taking notice. She was like, and then she watched, like, she was on her phone because she's a lot playing games.
Yeah. She's like a kid.
Or on Tinder.
She don't go on Tinder.
No. And then, but then she, like, I knew it was a film that she'd enjoy anyway.
Yeah.
Because when I said to her, I'm going to watch a film for the podcast, she was like, oh boy.
What shit is it this time? What shit is it
Bullworth.
Yeah.
No, and I said, no, you'll like this because it's
like a rom-com.
A rom-com, early 2000s, Hugh Grant, Drew Barrymore, and she's okay. So it's enough elements that you'd watch with her. And this is the other thing, it's a film which you can watch with pretty much anyone. Because there's certain films you can't.
Easy. It's got nothing like you could watch it with with Lily, and there's nothing you think, it's a bit awkward watching that scene with her. There's nothing in it that really is like offensive.
I thought their chemistry is really good.
Yeah.
I think they work well, because sometimes you can have two great actors, great performances, but
and they don't outdo each other. No, they're equally.
And their relationship's organic. You can see why they would get together under those circumstances. And the moment they do start kissing, you think, okay, let's earn. Sometimes people rush it too much in films.
I've been living with a shadow overhead. I've been sleeping with a clown above my bed. Clown is not right. What is that word?
Cloud.
Well, write more clearly. How can I possibly
Why would you have a cloud in your bed?
Let me tell you, it would not be the first time.
Oh, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Just write in capital letters, because I'm
why
really
don't
sorry,
you write
Tom.
it?
We're going to come back.
Fine, you write it.
Yes, you dictate.
Fine.
I'll write, and I will write like a human and not like a small Pekingese dog.
Another thing that I liked about the film personally is that I'm a songwriter myself. I'm a lyricist. I used to write lyrics for Caroline, and I've written lyrics since I was in primary school. I used to love writing. I've written over 1,000, and when they're talking about writing the songs and stuff, and she's coming up with the words, I'm sort of coming up with words in my head, thinking, I would have done this, I would have written that, but then that goes a bit silly.
Like the clown above your bed. What's a clown? That's freaky ass clown doing above your bed or something like. It's like some sort of like there's some clown above your bed. I was saying there's little funny little lines. They've got it's funny. It's a good film.
But also, what's good about that is the actual song itself, which they come up with. You can believe that it's good enough that a general audience would like it. You also think, like, when they're getting her to listen to it, I was thinking she's going to go, no, I don't like it, and take it off. But she liked it, and I thought, I can believe that she liked it. It actually reminded me a little bit of years later, obviously, the Bradley Cooper film, Star is Born.
Yeah.
The Shadow song.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Like a duet type thing.
Yeah.
The song...
And he makes her sing it, and she's like, I can't sing, and he's making her just
sing it. But this one, Way Back Into My Heart, along with a couple of other songs in it, Love Old Topsy, it was written by Adam Schlesinger, who wrote the songs in that. He also wrote that song I was playing in the car, That Thing You Do. You doing that?
Is that in the film?
No, it's from a different film. That was from a film with your favourite, Tom Hanks, who directed it. That's actually quite a good film. It's about a fictional 60s band who have a one-hit wonder. And like that, and like this, you have to believe that that if the song's going to be popular and liked, it has to be a good song. There's no point in them just sticking a song and you going, oh, this is shit. No one would like this. It's believable that people would like the song and that the audience for this girl would like the song. He also wrote songs for Shadow Howl, Something About Mary, Scary Movie, Fever Pitch, 2 Weeks Notice. He sadly died April 1st, 2020. Died from complications from COVID-19 at age 52.
Okay. Just 2 years older than me.
And 20 years older than me.
2020, that's a lot of people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Martin Fry, lead singer of the 1980s pop band ABC, coached Hugh Grant with his singing and dancing.
Yeah, so I didn't know it was him. I had to look it up, but it's actually him singing, isn't it?
Hugh Grant?
Yeah, because you think, oh, maybe like a voice
but the video is exactly like an 80s video.
Oh, yeah.
Like when the nurse and all that as well. And she's like that kind of like bimbo-y, you know? And it's just like dancing around in like little high heels. And
no, I thought it was a good opening rather than... Because the kind of stereotypical opening for these films, you imagine seeing one of the characters going into a florist or a donut shop and they go...
Or having their heart broken.
Or like, but I'm saying like, no, when it's got like the credits and there'll be like should be a clutch up. Oh, don't forget your coffee. Thanks, Julian.
Yeah.
Oh, would anyone ever love that girl and the kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I like that it opened with showing you exactly.
Showing it goes, that was so-and-so with there, and like, this is, now I wonder what he looks like now. I wonder what he's doing now. And they've got like the celebrity boxing match with Tiffany and Debbie Gibson.
Yeah.
And he goes, who would have known Debbie Gibson could have taken such a punch?
Was it Debbie Gibson? I thought it was Debbie Harry.
No, Debbie Gibson. Because Debbie Gibson and Tiffany were like the rivals at the time. They was like, they're both teenage.
What did she sing?
I don't know. But I know Tiffany, obviously she's got that, Think You're Alone Now. But Debbie Harry, Debbie Gibson, she was like the blonde version. She was like the Britney-ish. So they was playing about the same sort of time. So that's why that they was like put against each other in that celebrity boxing match.
And what year were they at roughly?
80s. Both 80s.
So, really, if this film came out now, it would be that little thing would win, and Britney's going to be punching Christina because it's about the same
sort of thing.
About the same gap we've had, and yet not much has changed in that time.
No, exactly.
On the Graham Norton show. Recently, Hugh Grant said that Drew Barrymore despised him. And he said, she made the mistake of giving me notes, he explained.
I don't think she did, because I've seen her having interviews and she's talked about him and she's always been really sort of, like, he was really lovely to work with.
I think that might have been...
a bit of a joke that is taken the wrong way, he's messing around.
He has very dry sense of humour. When you see him in interviews and stuff and people ask him about things, he goes, oh yeah, well I wasn't even in it, I didn't turn up or something. And they go... Of course she was. Yeah. He'll say things just to
I
sort
don't think there's that because I've seen her talk about him and she's like she's all like really like gushing about working with him. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think that there was any funny thing like that. So sometimes it's like people sometimes things are taken down and taken the wrong way. If it's written down,
someone hears it. If it's like you go, I punched him in the face. Yeah. And they say apparently he says that he punched him in the face. You go, well, he didn't really mean it.
And for this film, Hugh Grant learned to play the piano, and both he and Drew Barrymore learned to sing. However, while the audience can see Hugh play on screen, the audio heard is actually the piano performance of vocal coach Michael Rafter.
Yeah, I didn't think he'd learned the piano.
No, not to that extent.
No. And look, the trailer features some scenes not in the movie. A door is opened for Alex by a porter. During the Battle of the 80s Has-Beens interview, Alex says that pop broke up in 1992 and he is a 90s has-been. There was, however, never a scene with Drew Barrymore eating candy floss. This is an urban legend. No, it doesn't say that, but yeah. I reckon.
I just want to see that scene again. I bet you don't.
I'll find it and I'll send it to you.
Right, if you find it, I'm going to put it on this video, and I'll be so surprised. And I just remember I've probably blown it all out of proportion, but I remember she's eating candy floss or eating something, and it's the look on her face. That's that kind of really innocent dough. Like it's just, I remember she just looked really funny without saying anything, and I remember there was something about that, and I thought, oh, that film looks good, and I think from that scene. Looked at it and I thought, oh, that looks fun.
That's what got you there.
That's one of the things that got me there, and she wasn't even in it. But I didn't realise till looking back years later, thinking, hang on, where's that scene?
In the record store scene, Alex Fletcher's solo album is beside the Flying Lesbians section.
Okay.
Don't know the relevance of that. And Cora Corman's single Buddha's Delight has a line Om Shanti Shanti, which is also used in the concert where she addresses the crowd. This is an almost direct reference to Madonna in her Ray of Light phase when she put out a song called Shanti Ashtangi, including the chorus where she regularly chants Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Yeah, I remember going through that sort of phase, Madonna. She's gone through loads. She's gone through so many different phases.
She's gone through the menopause about 4 times.
So how'd everything go here?
Oh yeah, good, great. The kids ate and went to sleep. Yeah, they're really bad children.
Okay, everybody goes to bed. I'm sending your father in there.
Whoa, we're so scared.
And then I'm coming in.
I'll just go check to make sure they're still breathing.
Hugh Grant, born 1960, and Adam Sandler, born in 1966, share a birthday on September 9th. Both actors, of course, having starred with Drew Barrymore.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just read this here. In a 2009 interview with Elle magazine, Hugh Grant was asked to give a short comment about his various leading ladies. Of Drew Barrymore, he said, "Made her cry, stunning film star face, hates me." He has since said making the comments was regrettable.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
I think it's just... Yeah.
As I said, I've watched quite a few interviews with him, and I think it's more of a British sort of sense of humour thing. Like, you will say something which a British person will clearly say, well, you're obviously joking, you don't mean that. You know, like...
It's sarcasm, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of sarcasm.
But people don't... The thing is, Americans don't always pick up on this, and they'll take it to the...
I think they get... I think more so, because I think there's a lot more British... They're watching a lot more British stuff, and I think they get a lot more of the... Like, they like a lot of the comedies that are very sarcastic, and they love them, and like, so they do understand the sarcasm kind of humour. Because in fact, to be truthful, thinking about it, I remember looking back even in the 80s, I remember like the Golden Girls was quite sarcastic, and that was quite funny, and it was like very, you know, so they're good with sarcasm. It's just a lot of their stuff isn't. I think there's a lot of sarcasm in Friends, which is good. It's like a lot of...
Yeah, mainly from trying... But no, it's not just about sarcasm, though. It's the British way to do it is incredibly dry wit, which is like... You don't even... The way someone delivers something or says something, you think... you can see how it would... almost phase through an American. A good example of it, actually, was a Simpsons episode where they came to London, and Homer comes into the hotel and goes, he says something to like, there's the snooty British guy behind the desk and goes, well, I want this in my room, blah, 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 and none of your dry British wit. And the guy goes, wouldn't dream of it. And that's it. Yeah. But something so deadpan like that, you bypass you know, but it's just sometimes you can say, like, I like doing this thing where you sound like as if, like, totally sincere. Someone does something that doesn't need no comment, and you go like, that was really good. And they'll go, I think, well, obviously it wasn't fucking really, you piss taker. I know you're taking the piss. But it's all about the situation and how you do it. And I know what you're saying. Some Americans do pick up on it, but not to the extent as a British,
I think more so than what a lot of people give them credit for. I mean, they understand a lot of humour nowadays. Because it's just understanding the humour. I mean, there's look, they love 40 Towers, and
you say it's a niche,
and that's very sarcastic.
I think there's a niche amount of Americans. You mentioned like a Frasier type who's an Anglophile. That kind of person would love it. But say like when I've gone on my road trips for America, and I'm aware of it. I'm aware you can't joke with Americans to that extent if they don't understand that you're joking, because you'll say something like, "Oh well, I killed her and left her in the boot," and they'll be like,
"Yeah."
And so Adam would make that mistake more than I would, for example, and I'd say to him, "You know, they don't know you're joking." He goes, "Well, that's their problem." I go, "Yeah, I know, but since we're over here, let's just sort of read it in a little bit, you know."
Some of Hugh Grant's dance moves in the final performance of Way Back Into Love are very similar to his dance moves in Love Actually.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Actually,
he does that.
I think that's the only way he can dance.
That
is his dances. Yeah. I think that is his dad dancing.
The Alex Fletcher character pays homage to Andrew Ridgeley, a member of the 1980s band
Yeah.
Wham. Like Fletcher, originally wanted to repeat the success he'd had with his teammate George Michael, looking for the same level of fame after Wham disbanded in 1986. His repeated failures led to Ridley leaving the music industry. He returned to the UK, moving to a 15th century restored farm in Weybridge, Cornwall, with his girlfriend and later wife Karen Woodward, who was a member of another famous 80s band, female trio,
Bananarama.
Bananarama.
Bananarama, don't be a knob.
I'm saying how it's written here.
Banana Nini Nunu.
Banana Rina Mama.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is she the one who's still in it? Or is she the one who's out?
Yeah, the dark haired one.
She's still in it then?
Yeah.
Because one of them left, didn't they?
Siobhan.
Why did she leave?
She started Shakespeare's sister.
Really? Which one is she in Shakespeare's
She's
sister?
like the goth looking one.
Wait,
You know, like the gothy one with the...
You better
Yeah, that's her.
That's her.
Yeah.
So Shakespeare's sister.
But that's a really good album. Hormonally Yours is a fantastic album.
Are they still together? Shakespeare's...
They broke up, but I think that they have done stuff since. And then she also done a concert with Bananarama a few years back. So they should actually talk back
really,
together.
if I was her, I'd do both.
Yeah.
They should tour together.
Yeah.
Bananarama and Shakespeare's sister, because they're not a million miles apart.
They are
from each
completely
other.
different. Bananarama's very pop. Shakespeare's sister's not that kind of pop. It's more, it's a different kind of crowd, I think.
Do you notice on that final, because obviously towards the end of the film, she's asking them to write an extra verse, doesn't she? Which Drew Barrymore does, which is a nice verse, but she actually leaves it out at the concert. She just repeats the chorus. Like, you wouldn't notice it necessarily while Hugh Grant goes off to kiss Drew Barrymore backstage. There's like another thing, which you might notice. When they first go to her recording studio, it's got that Cora's car is parked by a sign saying no parking 24 hours. You know, they go when they come out afterwards, the car's been towed away. So it's only a little tiny little sight gag you'd notice if you paid attention, aren't they?
Yeah, during production, the working title of the movie was Music and Lyrics by.
Right, because it
That
ends.
makes sense as well.
It ends with it sort of going. It shows you the notes for the song, and it says music and lyrics by, and it's got their names. But no, I think music and lyrics works better than by, because it's not necessarily a little by. Music and lyrics I think it's a good title. It's perfect for the film, because obviously he does the music, she does the lyrics, and the film is all about songwriting.
Yeah.
You know?
It does make sense, yeah. Hugh Grant reunited with Drew Barrymore in June 2021 on her own talk show on CBS, The Drew Barrymore Show. So there can't be that much bad blood between them then. If he's gone back there, this is after the interviews.
So you can watch the interview. They might be just rare.
Held apart.
Yeah.
I loved getting to know you on our movie, Music and Lyrics, and it's just one of my very favorite movies, and it makes me so happy. It was a good movie. It was a happy movie. It was a...
I agree with you. Because I love to hate the films I've been in, and I do hate some of them. But music and lyrics, it's impossible to hate. We're so good in it and so charming.
No, he seems in general like a quite easygoing. He doesn't take himself too seriously, I think,
Yeah.
Hugh Grant.
He's been in some fantastic films though. I mean, he was very, very big 90s
Yeah,
rom-coms.
4 Weddings. As soon as 4 Weddings, because he'd actually been working for about 10 years before that,
Yeah.
and loads of really crap films. And
Yeah.
Then
Yeah,
4
he'd been around
Weddings-
for quite a while before, and all of a sudden, 4 Weddings catapulted him.
Yeah, and he was like early 30s, I think, then. So you think all throughout his 20s, just teetering on the edge.
Yeah.
4 Weddings, as you said, catapulted him. Then you had the man who ran up a hill, broke his leg, rolled back down again into the shop.
I think you're making that.
That's what it's
You've
called.
told me that before.
That's what it's called. Look it up. Look it up and put it up on here.
No.
Put up the poster.
I
and
think
how long
I
it
think
is.
you actually did say about it before. The man ran up a hill and ran down again or something like that. It's stupid.
Yeah, and then there was that 9 months. I think the 9 months was his first American film, because I remember being in secondary school and going to watch it with my mates, and the logic being there's going to be loads of girls in there because it's Hugh Grant and he was the hot thing at the time. Then of course he slept with that Carol Brown, whatever her name was,
Divine Brown.
and when he cheated on Liz Hurley. You see who Liz Hurley's dating now? Billy Ray Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus's dad. I remember he had Breaky Heart. He had that like sort of ponytail.
Yeah. And she pursued him. Like, he was going for a hard time. She started messaging him saying, "Oh, you got a friend for me?" He's like, "This Hurley's messaging," and they released it the other day.
That's mad. Yeah. Did you see as well? Also, another thing that I liked, changing subjects a bit. You know, Black Mirror. Have you seen the episode that's got Miley Cyrus in it?
No.
Where she's like playing a Miley Cyrus, like Hannah Montana type of character.
I don't think so.
And then, but she's really wanting to be like this other.
Well, don't tell me to.
No, but that's a really good one as well. And she's really good in that, and she's sort of quite believable. You know, because you look and you go, well, that's basically similar to what has happened to you. But
So going back, that's Billy Ray Cyrus's daughter, who's now dating Liz Hurley, who used to be married to Hugh Grant, who's in this film, Music and Lyrics. That's how we got there.
That's it. Yeah, but had you heard of this film before?
Oh yeah, no, I knew of it.
Oh, so you had heard of it?
As I said, there was a bunch of these films around about that time, Sandra Bullock, Hugh Grant type films, where I knew the poster with them over the piano, which I actually liked this poster more. As I said, most of the other posters are very atypical, like or like someone being picked up and all wind in their hair and they're smiling at each other. There was that Christmas one, While You Were Sleeping, Sandra Bullock and Bill Pullman. That was quite nice. But it's all that very similar type of humour, non-offensive.
Like Melissa McCarthy films are quite good as well. Like, you know, like The Heat and Identity Thief, and there's like a few like that. She's quite fun. I like them kind of funny films.
I don't mind them, but they teeter on the edge of crude humour. You know, she'll have something like...
Yeah, but don't you like all that?
I do, but I'm saying I wouldn't put it the same as these, because these ones, as I said, would be...
It's a rom-com, isn't it?
It's a non-offensive type of comedy. I watched last year, to do a podcast with Sonny, the Father of the Bride films, which are it's the similar kind of humour. Like, there's not much happens, nothing too dramatic. It's just sort of like an easy-going film. You sit there. It's like listening to easy listening music. You know, you can sit there, zone out. Oh yeah, go and make us a cup of tea. You have a cup of tea. Come back.
It's just a nice, easy film.
Yeah.
So you was on board with it. That's good then. As a child, Hugh Grant took piano lessons from Andrew Lloyd Webber's mother. At some point, he stopped piano lessons and subsequently forgot what he'd learned. Prior to the filming of the movie, he was taught to play the portions where his hands would be visible on the keys.
I thought they'd done that, because there's a bit in the store when he's playing. He says, "Oh, can I look at the new piano?" And they go, "Of course." And he's obviously meant to be playing it. I thought, he's not playing that. But as the camera pans around for the last couple of notes, that's all he has to learn, those last little notes. I self-taught myself on piano like a couple of years back, and I actually learned like half a dozen tunes. I played fairly well. I can't remember them all now.
Yeah.
I've tried sitting at the piano and I thought, right, Our House, Crosby, Stills and Nash. No, I can't. Hey Jude, no. Total Eclipse, no. Where's it start?
But you'd pick it up and you'd get it again.
But I don't see the point. I don't see, not in a rude way. Unless you are fully committed to it and you're going to become really good at piano, there's no point just half learning. It's like juggling. It's like a little party trick. You go, oh look, I can play this song a little bit, and people go, that's good. Shut up now.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be one of these people. You see, like, you walk through a train station, someone's sitting there playing the piano, and you think, that's really good. I ain't got time to stay and listen to it. You think, what a waste of their life. I mean, no offence to them, it's pleasure in themselves.
But there will be people that will stop and listen.
Like, so I wish I'd learned. But I wished I'd learned from a young age, mainly piano, secondary guitar, but piano, just because, like in the evening, if you're sitting there, if you're watching telly, watching crap, I'd like the option that if I had a piano in the corner, I'll turn it off. I'm just going to play the piano for a little while. Not like how he does in Frasier. Goes there, thinks, I'll just play the piano a little. It's quite relaxing and it sounds nice and thinking, and you can change the tempo a little bit. It's I'm glad though I recorded myself playing some of the songs that I know, so I can prove to people, I play piano, look.
During the premiere in Amsterdam, a woman pretending to interview Hugh Grant handcuffed herself to him and ended up walking the red carpet with him. It's about getting up there, I suppose.
Yeah. But, this is what I'm saying.
Do you reckon they cut her hand off when they got out of sight?
No, this is the thing. I think many other, not digging out Americans, but some like high-profile American actors, what the hell's going to get the police involved and stuff like that? He's probably gone, oh, well, come on then. You might as well get in there now. You can take it as good humour. Do you remember there was that? I think it was like, I can't remember the programme, but someone interviewing Tom Cruise and they sprayed him water in the face.
Oh yeah,
and he lost it.
Yeah,
he totally lost it. Like, how dare you insult me, kind of thing. You think so?
But then it could have been acid.
Yeah, but it was. You know, by that point, it wasn't. Someone squirt water in your face. I would have just gone. I would have just laughed and gone, "All right, nice one."
I have seen with Hugh Grant where someone's actually sort of, you know, that autographing pictures, and someone's had like his mugshot, and he's just looked to go, "I ain't signing that."
Yeah.
It's like one of him holding up the thing, you know, after he was caught with that Divine Brown.
Yeah. Well, I remember. Do you remember Dennis Pennis?
Yeah.
And he got Hugh Grant. He said like, Hugh, like BBC, because that's how he used to get him, because they'd see the BBC on his microphone, and he'd say, "I'd see your latest film. I didn't know it was you for the first half. I thought it was just a wooden chair in the corner of the room."
Yeah.
And he went, "Oh, well, you could just piss off." But he laughed about it and walked off.
Yeah.
So some people can take
Some people can and can't.
criticism, you know.
Right. On IMDb, this got 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I would have pushed it up a little bit. It's not necessarily like. Well, it's probably about 7. Maybe it's 7.
Rotten Tomatoes,
Yeah.
it got 63% by the critics and 68% by the audience. Well, I'm surprised at that.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it both deserve to be a bit higher.
Yeah, I'd say so.
You know, because it's a nice film. It is just a nice film. It's a nice, happy, feel-good film that you come away with afterwards and you go, that was nice.
Yeah,
That was nice.
It could be though. It could be a result of like rom-com fatigue.
Right.
Because you think at the time it was. I've seen an interesting video the other day where someone went through all the different genres and the timeline, their popularity. So like, if you went back 100 years ago, the two most popular categories I think was westerns and musicals. Now they're two of the least popular. You very rarely.
Yeah, there's no musicals no more.
And westerns.
And when they do musicals, like no
Yeah.
one pays attention to them, like La La Land or something. But they don't ever like they're not like what musicals like Grease
No,
or
but it's also because-
Babsy Malone or Annie or you
Yeah.
know Willy Wonka and all this kind of stuff. They just don't do them no more. They used to do musicals all the time in the 70s and 80s,
Yeah,
and they seem to just stop.
but it was also like if you went 100 years ago, so the 19 like horrors were hardly heard of. You know,
Horror's really big now.
horrors, comedies weren't that much, but now horrors is one of the is probably the most popular.
Very
one.
loyal fans as well, horror fans. Like if you're in a classic horror film, you're set for life. Like for example, PJ Souls, she was in Carrie and Halloween. She's all them sort of comic cons and all that kind of stuff. She's always, and the amount of money that you get for things like that, and she will continue because she's got such a following. She's in 2 of the biggest horror films. You know, so if you've got like you'd have like Nancy out of
Heather Langenkamp.
out of Nightmare on Elm Street. You know,
She's set for doing
life for doing
even just
doing
that
horror
first
film.
one, but she did. It's
They're
good.
so loyal.
She was actually in 3 Freddy films, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was in that one when it comes to life.
New Nightmare.
Is there a new Freddy coming out? I keep
hope
seeing adverts and trailers and stuff. I don't know.
Look, so 2007. Just very quickly, some of the other rom-coms: P.S. I Love You, Good Luck Chuck, No Reservations, The Heartbreak Kid, Down in Real Life, Hairspray, License to Wed, Waitress,
Hairspray was good. The musical Hairspray was good.
Knocked Up, Chuck and Larry. Yeah, so like, there's loads of them. Why Did I Get Married? I Think I Love My Wife.
Yeah, I haven't heard a lot of them.
Take Your Thing Out of My Wife.
No, that's not one. Right, anyway.
Broken English, Meet Bill. Yeah, Blonde
Right.
Ambition.
Right.
Everybody Wants to Be Italian. And Rotten. Oh, you done Rotten. So what's the budget?
Right, the budget for this film was $40 million.
Yeah.
And in the box office, it made $145.9 million.
So 100 million.
So fantastic, you can't complain.
I mean,
It obviously worked.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say they probably used about 20 million to advertise, so 80 million profit. You can't complain. Yeah. That's why they kept doing so many of them. You know, I remember at the time watching quite a few, and some were like okay, entertaining. Other ones, you know.
That's why she worked so well with Adam Sandler. That's why they're in like 3 films together, because there's a chemistry there. They were like, in the 90s, it was Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. They had that like chemistry, and they put them in a couple of films together.
Yeah, and then sort of then it was Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
More recently, you sort of had like Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone. They was in like 3 films together. They worked quite well. Yeah,
it's a good film though. Okay, I'm glad you liked it. I thought you would anyway. It's an easy film to watch. It's like it's just an easy, happy film. So
okay,
right.
So for the next episode, I've chosen Fright Night.
Okay.
And possibly Fright Night 2. Might as well watch them both.
You might as well do them both at the same in the same thing.
Which is a great sort of 80s horror film.
Are they both 80s or is one 90s?
No, I'm pretty sure the second one was still... because
just
the first
1990.
I thought the first one's about 84, 85. And it's likely that the sequel would have been about 2-3 years later. So I think the second one...
it's worth watching both of them.
Oh, yeah. And the second one...
to make notes between the two. It would be quite interesting.
I like the consistency of them sort of... No, the poster. I love the poster.
Posters,
for the first one.
Brilliant.
They
used to really put time and effort into posters back then.
But that was one of the posters I considered for my bedroom. I got my 10 posters.
So you should have had that.
The Fright Night one. But I let Lily choose one. She chose Heathers, which is okay, but it's just Christian.
No, Fright Night would have been so much better.
Well, I could still get it and take...
Fright Night would have been so much better. Because you could put it in the frame and then when Lily comes around, take it out of the frame.
No, I could... You know what I do is, when I've got a collage like this, which you would have seen in some of the podcasts, I could just take Lily's Heathers one and say, look, I really want them stuck on there. And she'll go, oh, okay, go on then. And I'll go, no, I've got a missing poster. But the thing is, I know I want to get Fright Night, but then there might be another one pop into my mind. No, Fright Night one I really like.
Fright Night is a fantastic. But there is so many good posters from especially the 70s, 80s and 90s. I think really more than any other decade.
Yeah, posters now is shit. Posters now, you think you just stick all the actors on the poster and that's it. That's all they do. Sort of one bigger than the other.
Yeah,
it's boring. No imagination to it. I love old posters where something clever about the poster, whether it's like Howard the Duck, like just the egg opening up.
But the thing is, because in the 80s, before the way that it would sell it to you would be the poster, like the video cover.
It's important.
You'd look at it, and this is what's selling you the video. That's why they made so much effort and time with the covers of videos, because you wouldn't see trailers and all that really, apart from when you hired a video, then you'd have trailers at the beginning maybe sometimes.
See, that April Fool's Day one is a good poster.
Oh, that'd be a brilliant poster.
But I still think, because of how white that is in the background, I think I like all the blues of the Fright Night. I think that would go better on the wall, because I've got a white wall.
That is a brilliant Fright Night though. That is, and it's just so scary, that face.
But the Trading Places one's good. Anyway, so Fright Night, next episode.
Yes, right. Well, thank you very much for listening. Please like, subscribe and share.
And share again. And keep sharing it. Share it as much as possible, because that way we'll have more people liking and subscribe it.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll catch up with you soon. See you later. Bye-bye.
Share. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And he invited me to come see him perform tonight.
Gary, I'm going out! Oh my God!